Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Did you have a happy Insurrection Day? January 6th, the one-year anniversary of either the worst terrorist attack on our government since 1812, or, as Fox News calls it, a tourist field trip that got out of hand. Okay, everybody, grab your museum buddy. Make sure you have your bear spray and your hatred for democracy and love of fascism. Let's go, kids. We watched it on television. We saw cops beaten, tased, and people died. And in a rare moment of sanity this last week, friendless twat and dad body Wolverine Ted Cruz called it a terrorist attack on the heart of government. Then a day later, he went on the show of Gordon Fishstick's heir and man with the best child-bearing hips since Chris Christie,
Do you remember when it first died, September?
Tucker Carlson show, and said he didn't say what he just said. And if he did say it, he was dumb for saying it, and he is being misunderstood for what he said, even though when he said it, he didn't say it.
The way I phrased things yesterday, it was sloppy and it was frankly dumb. Saying it's
I don't buy that.
It's a
Well,
political term. It's a lie.
You gotta love Ted Cruz, because no matter how big of a scumbag you are, you can always say, hey, at least I'm not Ted Cruz. So after a year of watching treason on our television, after seeing obese, LARPing traitors dressed like the military they never served in attack our government and try to kill the vice president and the Speaker of the House. Oh yeah, be clear, people. They came there to destroy the chain of command. First Pelosi and then Mike Pence. They built a gallows, and they were sent there by their cult leader. Now, to be clear, there have been attacks on the Capitol before. The British torching it during the War of 1812, and before the U.S. Civil War, members regularly carried firearms and knives into the chamber. Just like now. Andrew Jackson was nearly assassinated leaving the House chamber. And he deserved it, because seriously, what a douche. In 1856, Representative Preston Brooks beat Senator Charles Sumner with a gold-headed walking cane, and there was more blood on the chamber floor than a Tarantino film.
I'm still alive, motherfucker!
Preston Brooks was convicted of assault and fined. No jail. Like now! In March 1954, 4 Puerto Rican nationalists entered the House armed with handguns and shot and wounded 5 congressmen and unfurled a Puerto Rican flag. Now the Puerto Ricans just have a parade. And sometimes there are even more people shot. But I digress. So, the Capitol has seen violence before. 70 incidents between 1830 and 1861. But not a single one of these incidents of violence at the Capitol was planned, inspired, and ordered by an American president. Not a single one of these attacks was an attack on democracy. Not a single one of these attacks tried to stop the free and fair election this country holds as its highest accomplishment, its lifeblood. And you can read all about what this country stands for on a t-shirt in the Capitol gift shop. So, on the one-year anniversary of a terrorist attack on the government by the people this country gave the freedom to attack the government, 600 January 6th protests are locked up. And after the bipartisan January 6th Commission is finished with their investigation, I'm hoping we can make it 601. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. We gotta get rid of the assholes.
Do you remember when it first died, September?
Hey everybody, Christopher Titus, Titus Podcast. How you doing? With me as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
There could be only one.
Yes, man. So we are here today in the first podcast of the new year to scream sanity. Did we do another one? Did we do another one?
Of this year, of 2022?
Well, it was New Year's week it was 20, when did it come out?
I can't believe I'm a week in and I've forgotten everything.
No.
It's only January. It's only January 7th.
No, Friday
So when
was-
did the dementia start? January 8th?
Wait, Friday was the
2022?
the 31st, right?
Right.
And so it came out in time for New Year's, which was still 2021.
Well, it depends on what part of the world you're watching. Okay,
No,
look.
not exactly.
Not really.
Okay,
It's
if
only
you're on the East
24 hours.
Coast, okay, it
It's
came out
24
in
hours.
20.
What? Okay.
Have you had to write 2022 yet? Has anybody? I haven't yet.
I'm on my checks. I keep writing, "Fuck 2021. I hate this fucking year. What a nightmare we've lived in."
You're writing a lot of checks.
I keep writing that on my checks.
Got a lot of checks you're writing.
Yeah, to our
Checks?
the guy who mows our lawn, who, by the way, has a secretary.
Okay, so
Shish.
Wait, no.
okay, so the
Let her tell
gardener Jose, I think I've talked about him before. There's a little bit of a language barrier. He speaks English, but
quite well.
like when he texts, he doesn't understand nuance in English, and so he'll type to me. Listen,
I don't either. Just to be clear,
He'll type.
this isn't a racist thing.
He'll
I don't
always start
understand
a text with "look" or "listen," and I'm like, okay, and he gets a little randy.
I'm listening. Go
And
ahead.
then when I was asking him to cut down a tree, he said, "Listen, you need to get permission from your neighbor because last time that's what I went to prison for." And I was like,
He went to prison for cutting down a tree.
yeah. But there's two problems in that sentence. So anyway,
Was that tree
At
bleeding?
least-
right
at
before
least
the
two
new
problems.
year, after everyone spent all their money on Christmas, we get a handwritten bill by him in his writing that says September, it's $100 for the whole month. Look, I get it.
Great.
But October, $100. November, $100. December, tallies it to 400.
Like
It
we hadn't
says,
paid
like,
him
we haven't paid him in 4 months.
4 months, a third of the year. He said we haven't paid him.
And he didn't say it. He just
He wrote
suggested
as
it on the bill.
Yes, he's implying that he has not been paid for
So
it.
we go and we pull the check numbers for each
Because
month.
thank God I still write checks.
Well, you only write them to him.
Yeah,
He
we have
takes
like
checks.
three
Right.
people. We have a check
Yeah,
with three
the
people.
Jose the pool guy, Jose the lawn guy,
And Ken, the tree murderer.
Man, this is the whitest conversation
I know.
I've ever been involved in,
But
and I hate myself for
This
it.
is my favorite, and I have haven't I? Like every day, I'll giggle at this
She opens up her text every day and laughs.
because it's still high up in my text, and I see it. So I texted him and I said, "Jose, we got a bill for September, October, November," and I wrote the check numbers that you
Yeah.
cashed
Yeah.
on that check, and here they are.
Can you check with the secretary?
And he says, "Perfect. I will speak with my secretary." The dude doesn't even have a logo. he like
Yeah, because he has to pay a secretary. He can't afford to pay someone to design a logo because he's got a secretary
I will speak
and
with
a
my
publicist
secretary
and an accountant. The guy.
who tried to take
Your money.
$300 from
I mean,
you.
what a great logo. Could he went to jail? It could have been like a jail. Like, that's
Just
a good-
him in jail and a tree
With
behind
trees,
him.
made of trees.
Just a ripped out, just tree branches behind him. That's
So
what I did.
look, listen, he is speaking with his secretary.
Oh man.
Speaking of antiquated things, I also want to say we were snowboarding this week, continuing the white conversation. And we went up.
You guys do not have a secretary. Let's just.
We don't.
I guess.
No, we have an assistant.
we don't even have an assistant.
No, we have a producer.
Yeah.
Actually, we have a producer.
Can't afford an assistant, but we need one. He needs one.
Yeah, he needs an assistant. No shit.
Actually, he needs one first, and then I need
Yeah.
one, and then you need one. So we're talking to the guy, and he's saying that they're going to put a hotel in by this. They've been
you're
saying
not
that
gonna say
they're
this.
going to say.
I
They've been
used
saying
the
they're going to
word.
build out.
Oh
hold
my
on.
God. This is
They're
so
going to
wrong.
build out this ski place and make it a resort.
really
It's
suck.
not. It's been the same forever. It's tiny.
I live
but
with
they're
a
putting in
7th
a
grade
hotel.
mean girl. I live with a 7th grade mean girl.
The guy says, they're going to put in like a little meeting room, convention center kind of thing. And
I go,
maybe a spa. And he said,
But I was like, they have conventions there and stuff. They'll probably put a.
he said, dead serious. He goes, maybe they'll put in a disco.
I didn't say it like that. I didn't say it like it was 4. I said, maybe they'll put in a disco. I said, maybe they'll put like a disco, and she bursts out laughing, and I'm like,
disco.
again,
Disco.
Oh,
live-
Titus.
See? He's the same.
It's nightclubs, but nightclubs have been used since the
he said
1920s.
no, that was a speakeasy.
No, that's what you said yesterday.
That was a peep show. That was a
Peep
nickel.
show.
That was a Nickelodeon.
Maybe,
the last time you've heard
maybe they'll
someone
have
say-
a place where they can have hootenannies. and we'll go to the barn raising and then go to the disco.
Let's see a Flappers girl.
Oh my God.
Have you heard someone
what's
say-
funny? Like,
Disco.
what is wrong? Like,
There's
you're a
only-
7th grade girl too. You can't say disco.
Look at him. Look at him.
In Europe, they call it discotheque.
Look at him.
I see him laughing. I'm
He's
not looking at him
crying.
because I'm tired.
On the last podcast, you said people are going to sign up. They're going to sign up for the podcast.
You know what's really upsetting to me?
He said that
You
last
guys,
week.
I quit.
He said
By the way,
that.
tune in next week. We'll have 2 new co-hosts of the Titus Podcast. I'm going to see if I can get Don Knotts. And
I forgot he
Disco.
said that. He laughed at you about that last week.
you know what? So what's it mean? Signing up or going online?
They're signing up for the mail-out newsletter.
Right.
We're going to
Fuck
type
both
it on
you
a
guys.
typewriter.
I'm bright
With
red,
your
aren't I? I'm
checks.
bright red. Wow. I don't even want to do this.
They're
This is
going to
upsetting.
sign up by writing a check. I forgot you said that last week.
You write the checks. What are you talking about? You write the checks.
No. He's saying for the newsletter that they're signing up for on the podcast.
You're mean. I live with
I'm
a
not
mean,
being mean.
I live with a mean 7th grade girl.
What
I'm
about the
married.
7th grade boy?
I know. No, he's a 7th grade girl too. He's like, you guys in the corner going, you guys are over the corner going, he said disco. He came to the school dance and he said disco. Is it like a disco theme? And they're like, oh my God, that's like
Here's
30.
the thing that was so funny
Oh,
about
shut
it
up.
is that disco is not even his era. It's the era.
Yeah, right.
Technically, you
Well, I
were
was
too
growing up,
young.
I was a kid.
You were not old enough, so that would have been your dad's era, right?
Yeah, my dad was going out. I was a kid listening to, Saturday Night Fever came out when I was a kid.
So you grew up kind of in your dad's era because your dad never raised you like a little kid.
No, he
he
did
raised you like a grown man. So
I've always gone to discos.
from 2 years old, you were in your feety pajamas.
So mean.
I'm not being mean.
You're
I'm saying
mean. You're a mocking
I'm
mean person.
giving you a justification for why you would say disco.
No, this shit doesn't work without me. It's really sad. I just get totally ripped on all the time.
If you say disco dead serious, I'm gonna laugh.
I didn't. I was just like, maybe they'll put on a disco, like a dance place. That's what I was thinking. Disco nightclub. Sorry, I said the wrong word. Fuck.
You know what? It's
You know,
what
by the
would it
way,
be?
sometimes, once in a while, I've written the wrong "your" on Twitter. Why don't you guys go off that?
No.
Once in a while, yes. Once in a while, I meant the number 2 and I wrote TOO. Holy shit.
On Twitter,
Oh, how dare you?
No, I never did. Not anymore. But I did
you're
for a
not
minute.
one of those people on Twitter.
I will say this, man. Is this the mocking level now? It's like, it's weird. You know when people do this, it's because the person they're mocking is so fucking powerful and runs their life with such amazing ability
Yes.
that you gotta find something.
Yes.
Makes
you
me
said
sad.
disco.
You gotta say,
So
It's a funny
they
word.
still
that-
say it in Europe. What are you talking about? They still say it in Europe.
I've moved on. You haven't.
No, I haven't. No, because we just spent 5 minutes on ripping my ass at the beginning of the fucking 5 minutes of the first podcast is. But let me look how lame
CD.
old guy is. Look how stupid old guy is. He's old. Look how old he is. He said a word.
You sounded like Brian Regan.
Oh,
just then.
How do you know Brian Regan?
I don't know him, but I hear him on satellite radio.
Satellite radio. What's that?
I hear him on transistor
I-
radio on AM.
Tune in with the
I listen to him on the phonograph.
foil attached to the antennas.
I remember
When
that.
I was little,
Okay.
we did. I don't know how many channels we had, but I know that we had a TV in our kitchen that
Yep.
you'd have to go dunk, dunk, dunk,
Oh.
and it would go 12 times around, but you wouldn't have channels on every one. And if you did put foil on those things and keep adjusting them, you would get more.
Speaking of
13
old,
channels, 13 channels, and then we had the UHF thing, which is the weirdest knob, the bonus knob.
Oh yeah, what was
You'd
that
go
for?
you'd go to 0. It was like channel 13, and then you would.
What was that for?
that was for the
It was for the local
softcore.
stations.
yeah,
and
you
we
go in
watched-
between and you see.
No, you're thinking of the cable box that if you hit 2 buttons at the same time,
We used
it would go titties out, titties with a line through 'em.
There's a breast. There's a nipple.
You said you used to do that in hotel rooms.
In hotel rooms, so when they first started putting in, you got to remember, I've been around a lot. I've been around since discos. So what happened was they used to have these in all the hotel rooms to get pay-per-view, and this is way back in the 80s when I was doing comedy, and they would have a cable that went to the back of the TV, and then it had this weird, it looked like this, except it was sideways. The cable went in, and so you couldn't get it out. You need a special wrench.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Or you could just take a key, stick it in, and spin the whole thing, and it would
Right.
come out. Well, if you took that out and took the filter out between it and put it back in, you had every channel there was.
What?
Yeah, every channel. Yeah, and so yeah.
So
not
you
know
would
this.
get a little burnt chicka bow.
Bam, chicka, bam. But also, I'd watch all free movies, like all the movies that they had, like that. They were free. They were like, and at that point, movies were like 1995 instead of
Wait,
$5.95
how would
Saturday Night Fever was
because the cable box was connected. So what happened? You would take it. So it was a cable box that went from the wall to the cable box. Then the cable went from the box, the lock box, to the TV. But if you could get those things off.
Yeah.
all 3 of them, 1, 2, and then 3, and just plug this cable into the
Could
TV.
you fix it?
Boom! It was
It wasn't broken?
no. You just had every channel you wanted.
Did you also use a wrench, like a pliers, to change the channel? Oh, or maybe that was just the poor people.
Usually, my dad would get a TV once
Oh,
that
yeah,
happened.
when
when
the
the knob
knob would
comes
come
off.
Once
off.
the knob,
Yeah.
or the
yeah,
knob
yeah,
would get
yeah.
stripped.
Yes.
And you'd be, and then you'd have to lean on the knob for about. So what happened? The knob would work, and then it would start getting loose, and then you have to lean on it to turn, click, 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 and then
Right.
one day it would just go bring, and you're like, I stripped the knob.
My dad, we
And
had
then
a
vice grips, and they just stayed on the TV.
Oh, that's
we
higher
had
level.
a giant treehouse, huge treehouse. When we moved to Georgia, we had like a lot of land, and this treehouse was over the
Was it
creek,
big enough for a disco?
almost, and it had a widow's walk all the way around, and you would
A
have
widow's
to
walk.
swing.
Oh my god, widow's walk. What is that from like the fucking 1800s on ships? Oh my
Yes.
god, widow's walk. What kind of bullshit is that?
Yes.
What kind of old crazy shit is that?
that from the Civil War? What
Widow's
is a
walk.
widow's
My god,
walk?
what are you, 7,000?
So we had a zip line.
Jesus Christ.
We had a zip
Widow's
line.
walk.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay,
that's-
Captain Pequag, go ahead. Keep telling me that.
That story is
I was
done.
in a hurry. Where the widow's walk on the...
What is that? Is it like a porch? What is that?
No,
It's
it's a little
the-
tiny thing that they walk, that you go
Around
around.
the outside of the. Well, back
Oh.
then it was on the top of the
To
house.
shoot arrows to enemies.
Actually, it
Yes,
was.
exactly.
I don't know the origins, but it was so that they could.
Pour hot oil on people.
It was when they
That's
were
it.
out to sea. Their husbands were out to sea, and they would walk and pace and try and watch for them coming home out in the sea.
Wait a
So
minute.
Maybe 16.
and then send the other guy away.
But why would
he's
you,
here. He's on his way.
But if you're a widow,
You're
that
really
means,
damaged.
But
Let
if-
me
yeah.
just say,
Yeah.
or
Wait,
the
if there's
other
a widow-
woman. I'm surprised you didn't
if
say
there's-
the other woman.
That would have been
if
better.
you're,
I should have said that.
but so if you're a widow though, you weren't out looking for your man to come see. You were actually looking for other men because you were a widow.
Because
you were like,
right.
hello.
No, it was called a widow's walk because so often the men would die at sea. It wasn't necessarily that they were widows
Oh,
yet.
okay. I thought
They were
they-
just looking, who's coming back?
By the way, what a bummer! What a bummer! Like to know your husband's job is. By the way, we built the widow's walk. Why? Because I'm gonna die. All right, I'm leaving.
There's a structure dedicated for that.
Yeah. To my death, we built an extra porch, a very narrow porch.
It actually
so
was
you can
19th
either you can
century.
either yearn for me or throw yourself off of. Anyway, you decide. I'm gotta go.
It's 19th century, so 1800s.
where the
Wives of
beads thing came
mariners
from?
would watch for their husbands to return, often in vain, as the ocean took their lives, leaving the women
It's the
widows.
saddest job ever.
I wouldn't walk the walk if I wanted him to come home. I feel like that would be like the secret. You'd be drawing it to you. Hey, Bob's supposed to be home on Tuesday, but I'm going to go walk the widow's walk.
I'm gonna go on the death plank. I'm gonna go off the death plank around the building a little bit. Just see, hopefully he's dead. I heard the insurance is awesome. Like, it's weird that is where they added a structure and then named it after something horrible.
Wow.
By the way, I got the kidney transplant room, sunroom. It's a kidney transplant sunroom. My kidney failure sunroom. That's what we call that. And then the widow's walk.
This is a syphilis bedroom right here. This is
The syphilis bathroom. Yes, go in the syphilis bathroom.
Was it syphilis that made people's noses fall off?
what?
Eventually, I think doesn't.
That's how people would know that people that had syphilis had it and that they were unclean, considered to be unclean, kind of like
that's
how
how you
AIDS
know-
was just for gay people.
And how do we know that?
They would wear prosthetic noses.
Because of that movie.
The
Nick.
show, The Nick. That was
Nick.
such a good show. Man, that went away.
Wow.
With Clive Owen.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's kinda
their
crazy.
noses would fall
What
off.
other places are named after? What other parts of your building are named after horrible tragedies? By the way, let's go to the Sid's child's room, the Sid's baby room. Get the Sid's room off the master.
Well, have you thought about the fact like real
The
estate
widow's
agents
walk.
now can't say master bedroom? That's a new thing. It's a little uncomfortable if you think about it.
But
Master, that's the bed.
Oh yeah.
But isn't that the
Talk
See?
about patriarchal
There's
society?
a lot of
But isn't
well, and
that the-
also slavery.
But isn't that that was overwoke?
No, maybe, but there's a bunch of phrases
Does someone
that
get
they
mad-
can't use anymore.
Would
I
Willie
just
get
saw
mad
this.
Would Willie get mad at that? Oh, the master bedroom? like what is who gets mad at that?
Wow.
That's the person
That's
who
true.
owns the house. Like you can
Right,
doesn't
the
matter
master.
doesn't matter what color.
It's
you,
also,
or you are.
I think they can't say Jack and Jill, the bathroom
Right.
because it might be Jill and Jill, or it might be Jack and Jack. There's a few of them.
Some things are just named things so you know what they mean.
There's
They're
like the Hiroshima walkway.
No one,
there's-
there wasn't a group of people that racists got together and go, hey, let's call it Jack and Jill bedroom so we can keep like our misogynistic rule over
That's going
women.
to change the culture.
Yeah.
I don't know why we went to Italian again.
Widows' wives. Because they're always evil. By the way, I was just racist to all Italians.
I'm trying to find what they
Can't
are.
say
but
Italian either, by the way. You have to say pizza eaters.
you can't say his and hers sinks anymore in a description.
Really?
Master bathroom, master bedroom, because it was historically used to refer to the head of a plantation who had slaves on the property.
Holy shit. Are
Powder room? Is that from cocaine? Is it
Yeah,
powder
exactly.
room?
70s.
Can't
You know what they use that?
Some are now
Discos.
illegal to use. Fair
That's where that
Housing
came
Act.
from.
They can't use them legally. Some of them are actually illegal. Now you have to
Wait,
say
what's illegal? What's
some of case words because of the Fair Housing Act.
yeah.
Oh, my
His and hers has to be called dual or double. Jack and Jill, it's a violation of some states' fair housing
What?
laws. Yes, New York specifically.
Okay, so
started this.
listen, I lean pretty left. That's too far.
You can say theirs and theirs about the closets or the sinks or whatever instead of his and hers.
If I had a real estate agent that came through and was like trying to not say that, that's a funny sketch, by the way. Real
Yeah.
estate agent
Yeah.
trying not to
Trying
offend
not to
anybody.
say, Show all the rooms.
It's a Jack or Jill and Jill or Jack and Jill.
This is the big bedroom.
It's the
Maid's
master.
room.
Sorry,
Maid's
it's
room.
not the slave owner's bedroom. Jesus, and the guy's working really hard. California Realtor. We have to write a sketch. California Realtor.
Maid's
That's it.
room or nursery, you can't say because some people can't have children, and obviously maid's room might be offensive.
Who got
Extra,
mad? Who
you
did-
now have to say extra or flexible space.
By the way, who would get mad about that? Who would get? By the way,
A
here's
lot
the
of
nursery.
people in LA.
Motherfucker, we can't have kids. I'm not buying. Like, who flips
It
out
can
like
be a
that?
sore subject for couples with fertility issues.
Oh my God, I'm done.
Master
You know what?
bedroom, you have to call the largest bedroom.
If those people can't handle the nursery being called the nursery or the master bedroom being called the master bedroom, I think that maybe they shouldn't be purchasing a house because shit breaks and they might just be sobbing. If the water heater shuts down, they might
Yeah.
just curl up in a fetal position and sob.
And what do
If
you need a
can't
house
take
for?
calling a Jack and Jill bathroom. Yeah, exactly. What are you buying? Don't buy a house.
don't buy a house. Hey, you don't have kids.
You know the lawn's got to be mowed. You might just start. Oh my God, you can't call it a lawn. It's individual glass. Like what the fuck?
you can't say family room.
Oh, same
What?
reason. Same reason, right?
Yep.
Because of the
a lot
nursery.
of people might want to be single.
Den. Hey, I'm not a wolf. Don't call it the den. I'm not a wolf.
Right there you go. That's a good one.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah. What do I run in a pack and we all sleep together in the same room? It's not a den.
Here's a whole list.
Can't call it an
and
outhouse
They're
because you want to stay in
listing
the closet.
words that you can't use in real estate advertising because it's actually illegal. And it says golden age, mature, able-bodied, disability, cripple. That kind of got thrown in there. Turns out that's illegal. No shit.
It's not a closet. It is a closed storage unit. Like I don't understand.
Gender neutral fabric space.
Seattle has a lot of laws against it too.
It's not a toilet seat. It's an ass sling, for God's sakes. Let's call it what it is. Like, who gets offended at real estate? Could you imagine? By the way, that's a funnier sketch. Funnier sketch is the couple that goes through that's over the overwokes with the realtor, and they just everything he says, they just stop him. Like, whoa.
No, excuse me. No.
I don't quite understand.
I mean, master bedroom, I get that.
Well, I mean, if you own it's the people that own the house. I mean, wouldn't it be the couple? I mean, I guess.
Yeah, but
I
do
guess,
you use when you bought the house?
do
We
black-
bought.
I'm sure black
did,
people
did
say it
you
was master
expect me to
bedroom.
call you
I-
master? It's not
here's-
because you own a house you don't become a master. It's because people own slaves.
It's the big. I always just thought of it as the bigger bathroom. I never in my entire life was like, oh man, that's the slave owner's bedroom. That's where the slave owner sleeps. My entire life, I've never.
Okay,
thought
but
that.
isn't that what we talk about a lot about how some racism is inherent in
Yeah.
society to the point where we don't even know it? It's not that we're
Whether-
ignorant to that. It's that we've. I guess it is ignorance, but we just flat out didn't know that's where that came from.
Even if it didn't come from that, the application of it now,
Well, it did.
it could imply something.
No, no.
I don't know how half the time I'm the most far right of this podcast, and then the other half I'm the most overworked.
No. Here's my point, though. Here's my point, though. I don't care whether you're Asian or black or a woman. The owner of the house was always
Or a woman.
I mean, minorities. Minorities. I mean, like, women get trashed. All women get, like, women are still making 70% of what men make.
Yeah.
I was just
Or
throwing
a
it.
cripple. No,
Or a
you
cripple.
can't say
Some sort of. Or what if you're Puerto Rican? You don't know. So I don't even know. I'm just saying that no matter what race you are, or if it's two lesbians, the master bedroom, whoever they bought the house, I don't get it. Like, if you have kids, the lesbians adopt kids.
Yeah, but if I'm telling you that terminology came directly from plantation owners who owned slaves, and that's why it was called the master's bedroom, and now we still say it, wouldn't
or the
you
king,
say...
or the king, or the king's
Or your
bedroom.
king bed.
Yeah.
Or king or queen bed size.
Oh my God,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
still a monarchy!
Oh,
Jesus
right.
Christ, it's a king bed! Do you see how ridiculous?
Can't call it a twin because people can't have twin babies.
People can't have twins. Wait. I have two different looking kids. You can't call them twin beds. They're not twins. It's his and hers bed. Can't say that either because you could do.
Can't say his and hers either.
But you could
apparently.
do this with anything. Like, it's the most ridiculous
Well,
shit I've
I
ever
will
heard
say
in my life.
that a lot of times I do advocate listening to minority people, whether it's women or black people or Asian people, saying, we don't like that. Can you stop doing that? But I haven't. I just have.
I've never
seen.
Maybe
they're trying to get out ahead of
We
it.
know many black people. I've never once we've had some racial conversations. Never once.
No, but we are going to ask.
Yo, now we're going to be, and I bet you they're going to look at us like we're crazy. Our
No, they
friends are-
won't.
our
We have
fri-
conversations like that all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, even like, okay, let's go to Africa. Let's say it's Africa. It's all black people,
Okay.
and they have a master bedroom where the guy who bought the house.
So it just
and his
means like
wife
owner.
slept.
Oh.
The owner of that. Wait a minute,
wait.
owner. Hold on. I don't even know.
Well, then if that's the case, then we know where the line is. So that's where the line is. That's as woke as you go.
Yeah, I
right?
can't. I mean,
You can
like,
still
yeah.
call rooms
Yeah.
and houses.
And by the way, if I go, yeah, we know the master bedroom, and if you go, yo, man, that's a slave to, I'll be like, we're not friends now. Why? Because you've just gone too far. I know me. I know. All I meant was I own this house. I'm
Yeah.
the master of this house.
Just because I'm hanging a bunch of whips and other things in there doesn't mean
Yeah, exactly.
sure, there's a box in the yard with a person in it. So
all my
also,
blankets are Confederate flags.
You don't know what they did. That's called
I'd like to go
discipline.
back to you saying that our house, you're the master of that house.
Oh my! Guess not what I meant. I meant we bought the house. It's our house, so we live in the master bedroom.
Because we are the masters?
Yeah, of this house.
I don't really like being, I don't want to be a master. I don't actually like a master.
Yeah, I didn't say you're a massa. I said you're the master.
Speaking of that
We are the
level of racism,
We are the masters of our domain.
the
Wait, that's a Seinfeld.
McMichaels and Roddy Bryan had their sentencing yesterday, and
We
we
cheered.
watched the whole thing. It was
We
amazing.
cheered.
Yeah, I got choked up. The two McMichaels, the son
Oh,
and the
Ahmaud
dad, got
Arbery,
life
yeah.
without parole and another consecutive sentence after that of 20 years. And then Roddy Bryan got 30 years with parole plus another 10 years. And so, and now in February, the federal hate crimes trial is
They have
starting.
another trial. Do you know they have another
Oh,
trial? They have a
there's
federal
another
trial.
trial.
Yes, they have.
Great.
And
They,
those charges can carry the death penalty.
So we're definitely confirming that lynching is illegal.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's,
yes.
turns
In
out.
2022,
Finally.
Turns out.
that's the final on it.
Okay.
Until the next
Great.
case, and then there's some weird.
then there's some-
you never know. Because Kyle
But-
Rittenhouse was also.
We're
Right.
establishing a precedent now, and especially if this federal hate crimes, if they get found guilty of that, that would be huge for Black people in this country. Huge. steps.
So we do this thing. We drove back from the cabin, and Ray does this thing when I'm driving to keep me from falling asleep and killing us both.
I do it all the time randomly. If I think of something I don't know, like if
Or
it
if I
comes
ask.
up, or he'll say, what about, or when we're at the cabin and I want to know how long bears hibernate, I do a deep dive and then I'll read to him whether
While
he
I'm
wants
driving,
me
yeah.
to or not. Do you know some bears hibernate for 10 months out of the year? It's crazy.
Yeah, we
And
have
they're
a- we have
not
a do-
actually asleep.
We have a
Man,
dog like that.
that sounds amazing.
His name's Chaplin. He's,
It's pretty cool.
he's
But
part bear.
my sister's new husband, he said he was inspired by me doing that because when I'm with them, I'll read to them from the back seat. And so he started doing it. But we did a 3-hour deep dive into the Ahmaud Arbery
Do you know
killing.
how corrupt this district in Georgia is?
Oh, what about the district? Wasn't it the district attorney who was covering it up?
We found there's like 3 of them.
So what's happening with her?
There was like 3. No, and there was another dude too that also worked with Arbery, and it was 72 days before that this case even came to trial because they were all hiding it.
Oh, they're trying to hide. Oh,
she had
74 days.
She had actually sat down with two cops came to her and went, "Hey, this is a murder."
Yeah.
So 2 cops said, we have enough evidence to arrest these guys, and she went, no, don't arrest these guys.
No shit.
Yeah, and so she's under
And
indictment
then
now.
she referred it to the next guy in another county. She was in Brunswick. He was in Way somewhere.
Yeah.
And he did the same thing.
Their sentences should be worse.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
not up on charges, although he is now being investigated by the FBI, and so is she.
He finally recused himself once the FBI was like, well, FBI went like this. They were like,
They both
and he went, I'm recusing myself.
they
I'm out.
both worked with the dad. The dad, something we didn't realize, was a former cop for 7 years and then became an investigator working with the DA's office, working directly with these DAs who
Which
were
is
over the
why,
case.
which is why, how many judges had to recuse themselves? It was insane.
The entire county, Glenn County, every
Yeah.
judge,
Wow.
and it had to be sent over to another county, and that's how this awesome judge got the case.
Yeah, it was one of the most. I actually choked up when that judge was talking about, and he made everybody stop for a minute. He goes, we're gonna stop for a minute. He made everybody because for a minute, and then he said something to the effect of, Ahmaud Arbery was being chased for 5. He made everybody be quiet for a minute. How long that was, and he was being chased by 2 guys in cars with guns for 5 minutes.
5 times, and he made everyone in the courtroom just sit in dead silence while he looked at him. 5 times that. It was
That's great.
crazy, and it was weird too
It
because
was also good to see a good judge after the crazy fucking Kyle Rittenhouse judge.
Yeah,
It was good to see.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that guy's a judge.
Yeah,
Okay, thank
right.
God.
This
Right.
guy almost seemed like he was choked up a couple
Yeah.
times to me. He really, it was really impactful. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend you go and watch this statement that he did. He went down every single thing. He talked about remorse and how they had none. And he said, it's not even apology, it's actions, deeds. And he said one of the things that was most chilling to him was on the video, because the whole thing's video, this poor kid, they kill him and he's bleeding out and they both turn their backs and walk away.
They didn't try to help him. They just let him bleed
And
out.
according to Roddy Bryan, the kid, the redhead that had the Confederate flag, that's what made me think of it, had a Confederate flag on the door of his truck, even though they dressed him up in court and he looked very
Right.
upstanding.
They trimmed up his insurrection goatee too.
Roddy Bryan says that he says effing N-word to the
As he's
body
walking
as
away.
that poor kid is struggling to breathe through the blood filling his lungs. He says that before he walks away, which
piece
is
of
what's
shit.
going to come up in the hate crimes trial.
So, the great Alonzo Bowden, we follow each other on Twitter and we're friends. And he said something today. He said the sad thing is that we're happy that justice was done
Yeah.
when we should just be.
Right.
We should. He basically
Right.
was like we should just. And I said the weird part is that we're so excited that justice
Yeah.
got done, and when it doesn't get done, we're just resigned to it.
Right.
Like when Kyle Rittenhouse got off, we were like, well, fuck, here we go.
Right.
Like we're
Right.
so used to it not going well that when it goes right, when 3 men who hunted a man, shot him
Yep.
and killed him,
Yep.
and then. By the way, Ray's got to tell you this. When she read this, I couldn't believe it. Do you know how they found out that? You know how this actually kept moving forward? Because it was over.
No,
it was
how?
never going to be. Tell them about they sent the video in.
So they
This is crazy.
consulted with an attorney and showed him the video. And then when it looked like nothing was of the killing,
But they
when
didn't,
it
they
looked
didn't
like
retain the attorney.
nothing was happening, but they didn't retain him. Had they retained him, then there, even with $1, there would have been lawyer-client, attorney-client privilege. He then, for reasons that are still unclear, turned the video over to WGIG, a radio station in town, who put it on their website for 2 hours, and it went viral. They pulled the video down because it was too graphic. I don't know. The attorney says that he wasn't their attorney. He was just trying to maintain transparency by giving the video to the radio station.
Look up what's
Sounds like maybe he just wanted
Is it-
people to know.
Was it WGIG? Is what you said?
Yeah,
Look up their
let's see.
format. It'd be interesting to see.
WGIG in Brunswick, Georgia.
If it's a
News Talk Sports.
so this guy, this dude, this attorney who sat down with these guys, they went, we shot and killed a guy. What do we got to do?
Oh, Clay Travis and Buck Sexton show, inspired by Rush Limbaugh.
That's who he gave it to? Mm-hmm. And they put it up?
on their website because people were proud of it.
Gave it to somebody named Clay Travis show.
And Buck Sexton.
And I'm surprised they
Because
put it
Bubba
up.
Cornbread was not on that day. Jesus. Can we get more redneck names? My God. Wow.
The lawyer's name is Alan Tucker. He's declined to comment on his conversations with the suspects.
So, wow, you know what I was hoping for? I was hoping that we could say this guy was a good guy and he gave it to like a hip hop station or whatever, so they would put it up, but he gave it to some right-wing redneck station to actually promote it and be like, look what we did, ha ha.
Right, was it that?
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a right-wing.
He did cite attorney-client privilege as far as discussing what they discussed with him in the meeting. One of the more interesting things about it, too, is you know how much we dislike Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia?
Yep.
Throughout this entire case, he was awesome. He's part of the reason why justice happened. And when he found out about this video, he called the AG and asked him if he would like GBI to get involved, which is Georgia Bureau of, it's like their FBI for the state.
She said they're
badasses.
They're like Texas Rangers for Georgia.
And they said yes. And within, I think it was 8 hours of GBI taking over the case, all three were indicted because they weren't messing around.
Did the attorney make money from this? No. Was he paid for that video?
He said the video came from Roddy Bryan. He asked why he leaked the video. Mr. Tucker said he wanted to dispel rumors that he said had fueled tension in the community. He was covering their asses. It wasn't two men with a Confederate flag in the back of the truck going down the road and shooting a jogger in the back, Mr. Tucker said. Actually, it was exactly that.
Yeah, it was what?
You just
got
described
the truth out there as to what you could see.
It was two patriots.
My purpose was not to exonerate or convict them.
Do you understand how racist that attorney had to be to see that video and go, yep, that's justified? Do you know how racist and crazy?
To think it was going to defend them.
Diffuse the tensions in the community.
How dumb are these people? It's going to do. All right, man, we're going to diffuse the tensions. Put out the video where those white guys shoot that black guy.
He's not a nice guy. I'm not going to tell you what I told them or what they told me. He said, this is New York Times, using profanity to say that any conversations were none of the public's business. So he's not a nice person.
Wow.
But it's because of him doing that then it caused an upheaval. And the family was then, the family sees the video. Mm-hmm. They take a 28-second clip, post it to Twitter. It goes viral. Of course, now Twitter.
I remember it.
Twitter's a huge part of why this happened. Now people all over the world are outraged. That's how Brian Kemp hears about it. He gets Georgia Bureau of Investigations involved and says the state of Georgia needs to know the truth, and this all started the trial. Wow. 74 days later.
For a second there, I was like cheering for that attorney. Like maybe he saw it and be like, what the fuck?
And part of me is also excited because he's such a scumbag that he thought that, and it just totally, without him doing that, all those guys went down.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty great. And Brian Kemp, who knew? Mm-hmm. Who knew? Mm-hmm. But he did one good thing.
Well, maybe he's just trying to...
And because of Ahmaud Arbery, they have changed, because Brian Kemp called for it, they have changed the citizens arrest law. And another House bill passed.
The citizens arrest law stood since the Civil War, where you could just go,
it's
a citizens arrest. Yeah, but there's 3 dead guys. Yeah, I know.
I'm a citizen, so...
I arrested them. Yeah, exactly. So I'm a citizen, right? Sorry, I'm a citizen, right? And I arrested them. They are dead now. Because by the way, they did resist arrest.
Bubba Tucker is a citizen.
If you're going to listen to the radio, you need a pair of really good headphones. We have the best headphones that money can buy anywhere right now. These UE Fits are like leaps and bounds ahead of any other headphones that I've ever used. They're small. These are the ones we've told you guys about where you open the package, it's light sensitive. Don't open it unless you're ready to do the process.
Yeah, read everything when you get them first and then put it in. And the cool thing is you put them in, and this is what I love. Like I've had the other kind, and as cool as they look, they fall out. I've lost them on planes. I've like, hey dude, because whatever the shape is of the old one, they bounce down.
Those old ones hurt my ears a lot.
Yeah,
too.
and if I run, I can't run it and they
Yeah.
come out.
Those just inflate to like a beach ball.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
just
UE
ding,
fits.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
So it warms up. You feel it warming up a little bit,
Yeah.
Your
and
lights
the
blinking.
silicone actually molds to your specific ear print.
Yep.
So no one else
that's great.
can use them. No one would want to steal them because they're not going to fit them, and they cause you no pain. They stay in all day, and obviously, if it's molded to your ear, it's actually fitting in there. Like the old ones,
Sounds better.
I couldn't hear anything unless I pressed on them. These, they're in your
right,
ear.
You're right. Well, on the old ones, I would have to push them in,
Mm-hmm.
and they would also slide out.
It takes 60 seconds to get that
Yep.
customized fit. Premium sound, all day comfort. It's,
UE fits, guys. It's awesome.
They are really awesome, and I will
use
say that I went to try and get these for people.
Sold out.
They sold out
So that
everywhere.
Christmas.
Oh.
For Christmas,
Christmas,
yeah.
yeah.
So you should get yours while you can because apparently word is out. They also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you don't love them as much as we do, you can get your money back, free shipping, free returns, plus a 1-year warranty. For a limited time, get 15% off your pair of Ultimate Ears Fits true wireless earbuds at ue.com/fits. Just use promo code Titus at checkout. That's 15% off with promo code Titus at ue.com/fits.
Next time you remind me of doing this ad, I'll bring them next. I have them. Mine are in my office all the time.
They're upstairs?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
And
it's
they're
awesome.
And your ear warms up. It's kind of cool. But make sure don't open the package because it's light sensitive. That's to get them to fit. It's
So they sound great, and they're custom fit, and they have built-in like theft protection.
Yeah,
because of the fit.
and
That's
you
really-
can play and pause music and answer calls with built-in controls.
just leave them in.
Oh,
for
yeah,
your whole
it's
life.
awesome.
on your phone. That's like you can actually just on your phone adjust the bass. Like you can actually mess with the sound.
It's
on
a
your, on
free
the
app, and you can customize
it's pretty
it.
cool.
Like you can have voice assistant, volume adjustment. It's crazy. It's like the wave of the future. They are so far ahead of anyone. So ue.com/fits.
I want to talk about January 6th. So with the anniversary, which is the Armageddon update, was about January 6th. It's interesting to watch that the January 6th committee has started to get a little closer. We found out today, it was reported that they know now through witnesses, because they've interviewed like 300 people now,
Yeah.
that Lauren Boebert met with a bunch of people that were inside the Capitol
Did she
a couple
now?
days before
Oh.
insurrection. Give him a tour.
And
they're
did some reconnaissance.
Yes.
Interesting.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is asking for the country to divorce from itself, which is calling for civil
Okay,
war.
that's Civil War.
Yeah,
okay.
she's calling it civil war. She's calling it divorce. And what else is going on? They are slowly getting to the point now, and this is what I heard yesterday. We were driving back from the cabin, and I heard them say that the January 6th committee wants to do 4 nights in prime time and interview people. 4 nights prime time, so we all see it. Now,
Great.
a lot of people have been very angry about this whole thing where it's taken a year to do anything, to arrest anybody, and we all know what went down. And that's on the anniversary of it, to watch the video again. I was just at one point to watch Fanone get zapped, and he's screaming.
Yeah, it's
There's
shocking.
guys attacking him, and he's screaming. And there's guys, and I remember it's funny because and I'm on top of it, and it faded in my mind. Watching it again, I was like, holy shit!
Right.
They tried hang Mike Pence.
Like how violent
They
it
weren't
really was.
saying hem my pants. They were
Right.
saying hang Mike Pence.
Right.
You know, Pelosi, where are you, Nancy? Come out to play. They were yelling that shit in the Capitol. And when you hear on all the speeches they gave on the anniversary, which is pretty awesome, in a sense that they recreated what they were going through, which we hadn't seen. We hadn't seen anybody had come out and said what they had done.
Right.
If a bunch of people are going to show up with Kevlar, bulletproof vests, and
Helmets.
military helmets,
right,
and that's supposed to be a peaceful protest,
right, bulletproof, yeah.
Well, are you going to talk about Ted Cruz some more? I know he was in
we
the...
did. Yeah, so Ted Cruz, thank you for listening to it. By the way, I run the Armageddon update through her while she's in the bathroom. Ted Cruz.
You can't say bathroom anymore.
Ted Cruz. Can't
Yeah.
say bathroom. Sorry.
Not
Sorry.
everyone takes baths.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Some people
It's the
take
washroom.
showers.
Okay.
Water closet.
Water closet. That's
Oh,
it.
okay.
So Ted Cruz goes on, and basically
Lavatory.
2 days before, like a day on the 5th or 4th, Ted Cruz comes out and he goes, "It was a terrorist attack on and the cops were attacked by this act of terror." And Ted Cruz, I remember I was watching it, I was like, "Wow, I'm not used to agreeing with Ted Cruz at all." 2 days that night, Tucker Carlson goes on, plays the clip of Ted Cruz calling a terrorist attack, and says this guy's out of his mind. It wasn't a terrorist attack. These were patriots. Whatever he said. Ted Cruz calls Tucker Carlson, goes, "You need to let me on tomorrow." goes on the show and is like, listen, I was dumb what I said.
What?
I shouldn't have put it that way. People misunderstood what I meant, terrorists. And Tucker Carlson, to his credit, and I hate Tucker Carlson, goes, no, you said it. You said it repeatedly.
And
We
you
heard
meant
you
it,
say
yeah.
it, and you meant it. And Ted's like, well,
But he's mad about that because he said
How
terrorist.
stuttery was he? How
It
stuttery?
was embarrassing. His whole, I wasn't calling the millions of patriots around the country that support. He's a bootlicker. That's what I told him.
Totally.
By the way, Ray came up with the perfect word. She said bootlicker, and I'm like, that's the word. He's
Yeah.
a bootlicker.
Yep.
Ted Cruz is the worst bootlicker
Yep.
we've ever seen. And I don't understand, because Texans, say what you will about Texans, I don't agree
Yeah.
with them all, but Texans aren't like that. Texans are pretty straightforward in a lot
I'm
of
so
ways.
surprised that they chose him.
I am too.
He doesn't have the look or
Right.
vibe at all
Right.
of anyone
Doughy dad
anyone would
body.
like, let
Yeah.
alone
Everything
Texas.
they say they hate, Harvard, Princeton, all this elite
Well, they-
bullshit. And then Ted gets
That's
up there and goes, the elites. Motherfucker, you went to Harvard and Princeton. What are you talking about? You were considered for the Supreme Court, which I can't even
I
fathom
can't
that.
either.
I can't even fathom that. Like, how the fuck does that guy get up and go, yeah, the elites are going to make you. I'm frustrated. Ted Cruz is the worst of the worst. He's the guy that, and I said it in the Armageddon update, that no matter what a scumbag you are, you can always say, man, at least I'm not Ted Cruz. Charles Manson, all through his Latin before he died in prison.
But Tucker Carlson, that he's got a platform that is hurting.
We need to bring some sort of fairness and truth back in journalism, because it's not journalism. And I will say this, even CNN and everybody.
Yep.
Ray keeps pointing it out to me, and I'm noticing it all the time now, is that these guys aren't telling you the news. They're telling you their opinion of the news.
All day.
And this
All
is the
day.
new thing. This is the new thing I've noticed. That so all right. So the economy. It's the best economy we've had since 1934. I'm talking to like a pundit. You're a pundit. Pundit. I'm the news guy. But we only created 220 jobs in December, and they thought it was going to be 400. Do you think that that's going to move the economy to a downward spiral in 3 months?
And don't you agree that is probably going to cost Biden re-election? Wait, what?
What the fuck are you talking
Why are you
about?
saying things
That
that
aren't
aren't real? They're always saying things that haven't happened. If you
Right, to spin up.
if you
Yes.
listen
Yep.
to the news, listen how often all day, because he'll keep it on all day. They're talking about something that hasn't happened.
Yep.
Some horrible future
Or a what if?
that
the
hasn't.
what if.
Yes, the hypothetical
weird outlier to
horror.
something.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's exhausting. I can't stand it.
And then,
Can't stand
and
it.
in the same sentence, they said it was 218 or 180,000 jobs created in December. Unemployment's 3.9%, which is the lowest rate of unemployment in 35 years. More
Yeah.
jobs, 6.6 million jobs were created since Biden took over.
And they talk
the-
about Trump all day.
it's
They
the
cover
highest-
his rallies.
It's the highest job creation in 35 years. No, since the 30s, since 1928.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 1938. Height, whatever it was. It was 50 years of, and they go, yes, but is 180,000 disappointing? You just said it was the best ever, almost in the history of America, and now you're saying, isn't it bad?
I've seen
Sorry.
where they kind of they'll take a graph, and the way that they'll show the graph is if they're trying to point something out, like oh, there's a huge difference in COVID cases versus whatever, just fill in blank, and it's like 71% versus like 70%.
Right.
But they'll zoom into the graph
Yeah.
to make it look like it's a huge difference.
Or they'll design the graph, which would be like, so COVID
look-
cases have increased this much.
Yes.
And so it's like COVID cases has increased 400%. And you look at the numbers and you go, wait, it went from 3 to 70? Is that 70,000? No, it's 3 to
you're-
70.
Right.
But it's 400%. What are you talking?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how? Why did you made me think that I should just cut my own head off because the world is ending?
Right.
And the reality is, it went up. Okay, yeah, that's bad, but it's not.
Yeah.
Don't tell me it went up 67 people. Oh God, that's horrible, but it's not 400%.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
Right. We just put up a
She's
clip.
getting irritated. It's funny. We're watching the news, and she's irritated all the time now. Look at I just hear from.
I can't stand
I'll
it.
hear from the bathroom. She's like, I'll have the TV I'm watching. I'm writing the Armageddon update, and she just, I got the peanut gallery commenting on everything. Yeah, why don't you just say about Pelosi when her husband's a fucking.
Take it.
You heckle the TV from the bathroom. It's the
I'm
funniest
over
thing.
it. I'm over all of them. This episode also brought to you by ButcherBox. Speaking
Yay.
of
Nice.
Ted Cruz having a dad body, maybe he could start eating better food so that he wouldn't have a dad body. Helps with meal prepping, which Highlander is a fan of, which you used ButcherBox for.
Oh, and
Loved
we
it.
at the cabin we ate the steaks, and yet you said they were.
Did you butter baste them? 'Cause
Yes,
damn.
with garlic too. And she garlic buttered them. It was
So good.
and I'm not a big red meat guy, and I was like, this is the best steak I've ever had.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, how did I make the best steak I've ever had?
Yeah.
It was crazy. So I didn't know that you butter basted, but I don't cook those a lot. So
Yeah.
I looked online and that's what they said. Easiest, best tasting.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Yep.
It was, and it came out perfectly cooked.
Yeah.
It was, wow. So
Man.
this is a real
people.
recommendation from us. We're all really hungry now all of a sudden. High quality meat, which you can really tell a difference when you're eating it. They source
Their
meat
chicken's
from
amazing.
partners with highest standards for quality. No, you don't have to search at the grocery store to find the 100% grass-fed beef. They have it, free-range organic chicken, wild-caught seafood, and more. So that it's a holistic thing where it's keeping farmers, animals, planet, everything in
Sustainable.
mind. Yeah. So we highly recommend. That is the strip loin steak, right?
Yeah, I think, yes.
I think that's what it's
Yes.
called. It comes two
Strip
to a pack.
sirloin. Yeah. Yes, that's the one.
Man, no antibiotics or added hormones. These are all very important things. Each box you can make your own, or you can choose one that they've already put together for you. Tons of things to select from. Each box has 8 to 14 pounds of meat, depending on what you choose. So that would be like enough for 24 individual meals. Packed fresh, shipped frozen. You don't have to leave your house. Big fan of that.
And she pointed out today, because we took it up to the cabin frozen, like that we didn't spend, like usually it was in the past, we've gone up on vacation and we spent a lot of money eating out.
Or gone and bought groceries on the way.
Right.
We didn't buy groceries this time. I said,
No.
you know, we just went on a vacation and spent nothing.
Yep.
We spent nothing.
Because we had the frozen.
Because
yeah.
we had gotten ButcherBox last month, and so we had it in the freezer. So I packed that, and we didn't need. It was awesome. It was really awesome.
But also with lockdown, whatever's going on now, I mean, right now we got Omicron just hauling ass. Get involved in ButcherBox, because it's just there. You're just
But
there.
do it
Yeah.
now, because if we have another supply chain issue, at the beginning of COVID, everybody is on this and you'll miss out. For a limited time, ButcherBox is offering new members a great deal for the new year. You just have to sign up at butcherbox.com/Titus and you're going to get the ultimate New Year's bundle in your first box. That deal includes ground beef, chicken thighs, and pork butt. Can't say butt. I'm 5. That's more than 7 pounds of meat added to your first box for free. Get the New Year's bundle before it's gone by going to butcherbox.com/Titus. But get your butt.
That's honestly a baseline insight. Shut up, pork butt. That's like
You get-
That always works.
That's crazy. You get beef, chicken, and pork for free, and it's 7 pounds for free.
Also,
That's
once you
awesome.
get subscribed, people keep checking back the website, because they put cool stuff up, like lobster. Sometimes they put like stuff, and it goes like scallops. It goes like that. So be on top of it.
Yeah, it's excellent. Butter based. Who knew that you did
I
that?
know.
Interesting.
And
what are
the
you doing at home butter basting?
I was like, you know, and also the
something.
chicken. The chicken.
Chicken's dense.
I feel like I barely did anything.
Yeah.
I put it in a like a little Corningware in the oven.
Yeah.
And just walked away. And I came back and I'm like,
Corningware.
this is yeah, I know.
What is happening? Ladies, pay attention.
Disco.
Daddy,
Corningware was
Daddy's
invented during the disco era.
butter-basting and using
Corningware.
Corningware.
Corningware. Yeah, you're old too. Look at you, Corningware.
I'm just saying.
You actually knew what Dow Chemical called their weird new like bowls. It's Corningware. How old are you? My God.
I love Corningware.
My God.
I use my nonstick pan.
I'm just saying for the ladies at home. He's got
I got
Corningware.
the
He's
hey,
butter basting.
Hey.
I mean,
I know
this is
somewhere there's what? I'm going to send my picture in too.
so January 6th, no Republicans came except for Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney, former vice president, Sith Lord Dick Cheney.
Wait, Dick Cheney's still alive? I thought, didn't he die?
No.
Sydney-
Many
and-
times?
Sidney
They
Poitier
keep
died
bringing him
yesterday.
back, man.
Poitier.
Yeah, well, no, Satan comes back and Dick Cheney, and then Dick Cheney rises and he lasts another couple.
evil going.
By the way, on camera, an ear fell off. He is a zombie. So he comes up, he shows up, and it's weird. I have this, remember Dick Cheney, and I did a joke about it, shot a dude in the face to divert from how bad W was being as president. Shot a buddy in the face.
That's how
remember
bad
that?
he needed a news item.
We got to change this.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to change it. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to, Phil, come here. Just stand there. I'm going to shoot you in the face. So Dick Cheney goes on, and they kind of interviewed him as he's walking past, and they go, "Oh, what do you think?" And he said, "I do not recognize, this is not the Republican leadership that I knew when I was here for 10 years. And then they go, "What do you
I
think?
love this.
How do you think they're going after your daughter?" And he goes, "She can defend herself. She
My
can take care
daughter
of
can
herself.
take care of
My daughter
herself."
can take care." And I thought, oh shit. Here's what I thought.
Wait, is that him disowning her?
No.
Or is that?
I loved that was him not
I don't.
being a man and taking over
Oh yeah, I will deal
the
with it.
situation. Yeah, it was him saying, I was kind of a gangster answer. On
Yeah, it
Dick-
was.
I'm confused this week. Brian Kemp, Dick Cheney, up is down,
Yep.
down is up.
Liz Cheney too, but I got a double meaning out of it. I know I raised that girl right. She's gonna deal with
Yeah.
it. And you have to be honest with it. I don't agree with Liz Cheney's like stance on things, but you have to be honest. She's at least was like, no, America first. Fuck everybody. When we get past this, we'll start. I'll vote conservative like I always have. But you got this is, and the weird thing is, okay, so no Republicans showed up to this commemoration where officers got killed, and then 4 cops killed themselves after it. What I don't understand is by not showing up, what they've done is implicated themselves in the treason that was January 6th. If you show up and you go, well, yeah, we have to commemorate the dead. It was a bad day in American history. You're clear.
Yeah.
Do you get it? I'm like, well, that guy showed up.
Yep.
If you avoid showing up, doesn't that just implicate you more? Doesn't that
If you just sit by quietly,
doesn't that just pick you
like
pick the
fucking
side?
Trump did, and just watch it on TV and do nothing for hours?
We got to talk about Biden's speech.
This was a great, he gave a
bring up
great
the
speech.
text?
Oh,
That
yeah.
shit was so Biden, thank God. Mr. Biden, look, we have sung your praises. We think you're doing a good job. And you said the supply chain thing. And I thought, no, it won't, because Biden will get on it before. The supply chain thing won't happen again because he's on it now. And he knows it's not working. Biden gave this speech on January 6th that I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Flat out said, not only is he a former president, he's a defeated former. And he leans
great.
in. He's a defeated former
And
president.
he's mad he lost.
Nice. He drank a case of Red Bulls,
Yeah.
and he was
Yeah,
warming up.
Because the next day it wasn't like that. Next day he was like, COVID is blah, blah, blah. And we were like, oh.
He
had
accused
Rocky's
him of
guy in the corner.
inciting a mob to save face after losing the presidential election. That was at the beginning of the speech.
That's how he started.
Yeah.
He said, I will defend this country against anything. He goes, I will not let anybody hold a dagger to the throat of democracy. That's going to be a quote, man. I might get that. I might get some T-shirts that say
You
that.
should get a tattoo. Yeah.
I will not let anyone hold a dagger to the throat of disco.
If you-
It's called that.
That's my shirt.
anyway, you should look up Biden's speech online. There is a transcript, but it's really long. But it was inspiring
banging.
and long
Yes.
overdue. I thought we needed him. Part of what all those crazy people love about Trump is that he would just say anything,
Crazy
and they
shit, yeah.
perceived it as tough.
Yeah.
And Biden has been very nice, and he needs to just, in those kinds of things, come back swinging. Like,
get
you're
tough.
sorry you
Yes.
lost.
Yep.
Stuff like that is fine to say. It shows that he's strong.
If he could do that to the Build Back Better with Manchin, man, we would be
If he
turning
came out-
things around.
But I keep thinking that when does he get to come out and go, by the way, I want to point out to everybody that this guy doesn't want clean energy. The reason he doesn't want clean energy is Joe Manchin runs a coal company.
Yeah,
he runs
he's
a
in the coal industry.
Yeah, he's
Why
in the coal
don't
industry.
they do that? Trump would have.
Yeah, in a second.
Go right after him. Yeah.
And it'd be, and I was getting not only that, but he's getting $1 million from the Koch brothers to actually fight against us. When did this guy do this? This guy has. And let me point one more thing about Joe Manchin. That West Virginia is 47th, 48th, and 49th in education,
In
economy,
everything.
and
In every measure.
infrastructure. Yeah, they're in the bottom 5 of all the states.
And he's going to vote on infrastructure?
Yeah,
Who
he
represents
voted
the
against
worst?
it. Yeah, they have the worst infrastructure in 50
You were
states.
disqualified.
Yeah, and so if Biden would come out and just do that, all of a sudden what would happen was they always talk about the bully pulpit. I never got it till Trump. Trump's a moron. He's been a moron forever. He's a scummy moron. He's a criminal moron. But when he became the president, people listened to him because he was the president. And the speech that Biden gave, I thought, oh shit, that's the guy we need to see more of.
Yeah.
A lot more
Yeah.
of. and coming out against Manchin and Sinema, calling Sinema out for all the bullshit. If he started doing that, what would happen was the bully pulpit of the presidency would turn West Virginia because he's the president. It soaks in.
You used to hear that a lot during the Trump
Bully
days.
pulpit initially wasn't a negative term, though. It was Theodore Roosevelt said it about his own office, his own opportunity.
I don't think it's a bully. I don't think it's a bad thing. A bully pulpit, I mean that he can get stuff through if he chooses to go that route.
He meant bully the way that he said bully. It's bully. You know how Theodore Roosevelt said
You think
bully.
bully? It's a good pulpit? Is that what
Yes,
he said?
he meant superb or wonderful.
Oh, it's a great pulpit.
Back then, they would say,
Interesting.
bully good, or whatever. That was jolly good.
was
What was how to,
No, they said
Like,
that. No, that
the
was
word-
during the
Bully.
disco era. My favorite disco
No.
song is
When they used to say
Woolly
things,
bully.
gay things instead of happy, they were right.
Yeah, gay. Yeah,
Yes.
you can't say gay.
Can't say,
We're
right.
still stuck on gay too. We've really got to move
What?
forward.
Yeah.
Oh my
You know?
God.
Yeah.
We've got to get you. We've got to have some progress
Right. All right.
somewhere.
I hear you.
Is Wyatt going back to in-person school?
Yes. They're allowed right now. It's like limited, but only the kids that are fully vaccinated are allowed to go back.
Interesting.
So there's like 3 of them in there.
3 kids. Yeah, because they're all kids. Really? They're
Yep.
only.
Yep.
So
Holy
is
shit.
everyone else online
Yep.
watching the same classroom?
They're doing like a combination of like a hybrid.
Is
I think
Wyatt mad at you for telling the truth that he was vaccinated? I'd be
No,
like,
we're-
Dad.
originally.
Yeah.
But we
he's
spin it like,
Dad, X-nay on the vaccine, baby. Dad,
I get to stay home. Zip it.
Yeah, I would.
I'll do the work. I'll watch the teacher on TV. Dad.
So, but now he's fine with it?
Yeah, he's fine with it. Because there's not a lot of kids in there, so it's
Yeah.
the load is a little bit
I
lighter.
wonder if
Yeah.
Jeff's going to go to school. I didn't even think about it. I wonder if my
I'd be interested to see the difference because, they're always doing studies and they're saying it harms kids to not be in the classroom. I'll be interested to see how the grades are and the mental health of Wyatt versus a kid that is
Can I
at
call
home
bullshit
doing
on this? Can I call bullshit on
Sure.
everybody who said this? Not you. I mean, on what they've been saying about got to get back to school. Oh, well, I'm talking about the mayor of New York too. Wow, this guy. They've been saying that kids need to be back in school because of socialization and blah blah blah. Okay, what about all these homeschool kids that are A students and ended up corporate CEOs?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they were homeschooled by
Right.
themselves with their parents. What are you talking about? I think the reality is parents just need a fucking babysitter.
That's right.
And that's the 100% reality.
Totally.
And why don't you take responsibility for your child instead of putting him in a deadly situation where, especially with Omicron, which is taking kids and putting more kids in hospitals than any other variant has, why don't you do that? Take care of your fucking child instead of worrying about a babysitter.
Yeah.
It just seems like bullshit to me. And we have a history of homeschool kids raise nieces. Some of the smartest kids I've ever met in my life, homeschooled.
Yeah. Whenever
Homeschooled.
somebody says, "Oh, it's
They're
about
brilliant.
about their education," you're full of shit.
Look, California,
You just need
no,
a
it's not.
babysitter.
I went here. Trust me, it's not about their education.
My
It's just a
nieces
place to
This
put
is
them
an
all.
accident. There's nothing on paper that should say that I made it this far. No way. It
My
has nothing-
nieces are terrifyingly smart.
Brilliant.
It's like, yikes.
Yeah.
And they were homeschooled most of their lives.
Right. So it's all, let's just be honest. It's parents that just want a babysitter. I want my kid out of the house so I can do what I got to do. Mayor of New York, an interesting guy. He gets on TV. I saw he goes, when the mayor has swagger.
Oh, yeah.
Stop, dude, stop. You don't. There's no one in the world who has swagger that says they have swagger. It just doesn't happen. You don't get to call your own swagger.
You just show your swagger.
Yeah,
you don't say swagger.
You have swag or you don't. And
I got the moves like Jagger. That's what's going to keep.
Can you actually?
Yeah, you can't say that about yourself either.
Yeah, I got moves.
It's embarrassing.
I don't need to wear a mask or get a vaccine. I got moves like Jagger.
Oh wow!
I'm going to waltz through this
No.
pandemic.
We can't hang
We're
out with
never
that guy.
going to get you a date ever if you leave it at butter basting on Corningware. Now you've lost
Oh,
them.
that works.
I think it might work. Women
you look-
like a guy that can cook. I think I like a guy that
Can you look up who he just appointed? He just appointed somebody as police chief commissioner, something
his
like that.
brother, right?
He just Can you look that up? I just want to get it right. So this guy's been governor for a week, 1 week, and
That's what he starts. He
here's
opens
what
up with.
Yeah. When a mayor's
Gotta have
got
attitude.
swagger, you don't, dude. Like, do you have any friends?
People are dying.
His brother's name is Bernard Adams. He named his younger brother as a deputy NYPD commissioner. Police sources have said his brother's name is Bernard Adams.
What does his brother do?
Well, his yearly salary is $250,000.
Yep. He just appointed his younger brother. Gave his
Sources
younger brother a
say-
$250,000 job this week.
Yeah,
He just became
the
mayor.
mayor's office did not answer a request for comment.
Did really? They didn't jump on that? They didn't
His
say-
brother retired.
Seems like a lack of swagger, I think.
Yeah.
That you would-
That guy with
you should pick it
swagger
up
would
there.
have picked that phone. Yo, what's
Swagger.
up? Yeah, exactly.
His brother retired in 2006 as a sergeant, so he hasn't been in the police force for 15 years.
He's been
So he's been out of
Oh, it's
prepping up for this.
2022. Right.
Studying.
2022.
He's been
Studying,
homeschooling for this.
If you feel like the world is crazy like I do listening to us talk,
wow, we just
this
happened.
podcast is brought to you today also by BetterHelp.com.
We need to go on that.
BetterHelp, H-E-L-P.
They need to do a couples version?
.com. Yeah, no, we need it. After today, we sat and had a full-blown argument in front of Ken. Actually, it wasn't even an argument. It was more, it was, no, you, and it went on and on and on. And you just
Ken,
sat
would you
like
agree to
this.
that? Ken, what would you think about it? If you were a therapist, what would you say about that?
I've leaked it to the press in Georgia.
Who doesn't give a shit?
Yeah,
at
nobody
all.
would be like, we don't even argue in an exciting way.
That's valid.
There's no name calling. There's no screaming. It's like,
It was very Beatles. It was a,
yeah.
It was. Our argument's going is. I'm going to
This
Starbucks.
episode
You want
brought to you
something?
by. That's what it is. And now back to the podcast.
I'm just going to walk away.
So you didn't. You were
Wow.
like, no, we'll just sit here.
What we grew up with, man,
Yeah.
that is.
yeah.
Licensed professional counselors who specialize in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships,
Yay.
sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, self-esteem.
Hey, I'm getting offended by this ad.
Stress and anxiety was here. Anything you share is confidential. It's convenient. It's such a great thing because again, you don't have to leave your house. But also, right now, it's scary too with COVID raging.
Yep.
Omicron is raging. The world seems to be occurs to me as being more stressful than ever before. And you can get customized online therapy. They offer video, phone, even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than if you bought in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So why invest in everything else? We go, we work out, we try and eat healthy, and for the new year, and this is taking care of
Mental
your
health.
mind. Yeah, it's very important.
Also, there's a lot of people that have a lot of anxiety, and I think just getting out of bed, getting ready, getting in a car, going to an office, sitting with a therapist, you're in a different uncomfortable area. Can you even be free on this thing? You can call them. Even if you Zoom them, you're in your place. You're safe. You're comfortable, and you can be. I actually believe this would be actually more freeing in a sense of getting to the problem quicker.
I would say you're more comfortable in
Yes,
your own
that's
environment.
That's what I mean. Well,
It's
thanks
not
for
a crisis line. It's not
Let me edit
self-help.
all that shit you said to one
And it's
quick
like 3 words.
It is professional counseling
Yep.
done by licensed professionals, and it's done securely online so that nobody can see or hear what you're saying or doing. You can send a message to your counselor anytime. You can schedule weekly video or phone sessions. They match you with someone according to your needs and what you're looking for. So you can go to BetterHelp.com. That's BetterHelp.com/Titus. They're sponsoring the podcast, and you can get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp.com/Titus. I think this is excellent, very timely ad.
Yeah, because I've had some moments during this entire pandemic thing that it's not ending. It's not ending.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, why? Like, I want to get back to work. I want to get back to the clubs. My entire life is spent doing this job that I can't do now because all these morons. And we have friends that own clubs that are losing. Like, you were actually doing a therapy session the other night for a friend of ours because of this. She called you. Remember you talked for a
Well,
long time?
everybody.
Stressed.
All my friends are dealing with either not having the job they had anymore or dealing with having to do it in a new way. Some people are loving it. Some people are. I have a friend here who's just miserable with the way that this has gone, and so it's definitely a really important thing
I'm
to do.
that friend, by the way.
No, it's Ken.
Yeah. But also, we did online live stream shows here. It's basically live stream your therapy. It's you are basically again. I love the idea of being in your own house and finding a way. I would bet you this. It makes sense to me that because you're in your own house and comfortable, you're going to get to the problem faster and maybe to the solution faster. So people do this.
And it does, to your point, it seems like removing all those barriers of having to get yourself up and out. And because I've got to go help myself, when you can just quickly turn that on, you're already there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the gym, right? That's
Same
like the
thing,
hardest
yes.
thing for people to actually get dressed, drive there, get out of the car. It's like you don't really have an excuse. And if you want to do it so they can't see you, it's just an audio call. That's even better. You don't have to do makeup. You don't have to get dressed. Like wear pants. We've covered that.
Putting my makeup on for therapy.
Right.
So I would call them on the phone.
I used to say to myself to get to the gym, it's like, just get out the door.
Yes.
You don't have to go, but as long as you get out the door,
It's the hardest
and then
part.
you're out, and then it works.
It's the hardest part. So what else happened this week? I feel like there were a few interesting things.
The January 6th thing is a thing that really worries me because if we don't stop it, if we don't figure this out and arrest some people, that's what I thought about. That's what I really thought. Sorry, I touched you in your box. What I thought about the guy, the Ahmaud Arbery case, is I thought, if you think now, it was the first salvo I got because Kyle Rittenhouse didn't solve it. It was the first salvo I got that you racist Nazis, you guys at Charlottesville, you guys that did this shit.
Yeah.
Do it again.
Yeah.
Because this is deep Georgia. They tried to hide it and it still came out. We will get you.
Right.
So maybe you should tune it up.
That's the right message. Yep.
So maybe this is the beginning of, because I don't think this racism and these white people that are scared they're going to lose everything is going away. But maybe it'll go.
Right. Nothing else will seem to work.
But
so maybe
it'll disappear like, it was.
It has really surprised me.
Yeah.
I'm really blown away by it. I'm mostly blown away by, of course, how racist people apparently are. But
I knew it, but I didn't know.
Yeah,
it was like this.
wow.
We were X Games racist.
But how people, like 50% of the country, are pretending that January 6th never happened.
Yeah.
I don't.
It was no big deal.
But we have video. What are we?
Brutal video.
And then none of them, these people who represent our country, didn't even come to listen to people talk. They were there that day.
Yep.
They were hiding.
Yep.
Too.
And they think the president had nothing to do with it. And he said, we're going to go down to the Capitol and show strength.
And fight. Yeah, we're going to fight. You got to show
Trial
strength.
by combat.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying those people were under desks too.
Yep.
We know that a lot of them were locked down in the basement because Democrats were with them and they gave a couple Democrats COVID. Remember that?
Yep.
And they were escorted out by the Capitol Police.
Pence wouldn't get. They tried to put Pence in a car.
And they are now saying it never happened.
Right. Mm-hmm. They're saying it happened. It just wasn't. They're just making it a big deal. Just let it go. Let's quit talking about the past.
But your whole job is to represent the country.
Yeah.
That's your whole job.
Marjorie Taylor Greene said this week. She goes, by the way, I don't trust the government. Motherfucker, you are the government.
I saw
What are you
you tweeted that.
What are
That
you
was
talking
funny.
about? You are the government.
Yeah.
You're saying that from where?
Like, what are you talking?
You're on the government microphone right now saying that, you fucking idiot.
I was like, how dumb are you?
She's really dumb.
You three-toed sloth.
She's really.
I like how Biden mentioned we're not going to be burying the past.
Yeah.
And we need to face up to the truth. That's what, because that also speaks to like
But that's all they want.
CRT and.
I was going to say that. That's all
it's
they
all-
want to
yeah.
do. It never happened. Moving on.
Right.
Moving on.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No, there was slavery. There was redlining where the Tulsa massacre happened.
Yep.
There was times where black people have been. It's still happening today. We have friends of ours who bought a beautiful home, beautiful home. And they actually had to bring in, to get it appraised, they brought in a white couple
Because we couldn't come.
Yeah, because we weren't there. And guess what?
right.
Their house appraised for a crazy 20% over what they should. Yeah. So
Over what? When
over
they
what would
went
have
in?
had. Yes. Yeah. So they.
Holy shit.
And the good news is that it just makes me sad that we are still here. What happened? What happened yesterday? Something happened yesterday.
Well, I don't know if we've said yet, but Marjorie Taylor Greene got kicked off of Twitter, so
Yep.
that was.
Oh, yeah.
But she still has a government account. Her personal account got kicked off.
Yeah.
She still has a government account. Which Twitter? Really? Come on. Are you serious?
Well, I think so far she hasn't tweeted any insane stuff from the government account
Right.
about the vaccine or anything about COVID. So that one is okay. I went and looked at it, and it was pretty boring compared to the insanity of the other one. So
What else happened today? Someone said that the vaccines cause heart attacks. What the fuck?
who said that?
It was on Twitter today. Someone came out and said it was like a right-wing radio guy host, and it's like, it's not, guys. All of us have been we're triple vaxxed. Nothing happened. It's great. As a matter of fact, I was positive. And I had cough for 3 days. And it was done. We got Omicron, whatever. I did a meet and greet, and I got it. And wasn't even in bed for 3 days. I was just frustrated I couldn't go out.
Well, that was the ivermectin you took, right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what really helped it out.
I ate fish food, fish flakes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard that
that works.
I heard that helps.
That
and
worked.
they're very high in magnesium and fish.
You know what else
and
works?
high in fishorium?
Fish, yeah.
Flakes.
You know what
And I felt better faster than I probably would have otherwise.
I actually had an old poker chip from Vegas. I sucked on that, and because of all the natural immunity that's in it from all the thousands
Right,
of
from
people
all the
touching it,
germs.
totally cleared it. So if you suck on a poker chip or eat fish food, fucking clears it up. And that we were watching something that was really interesting last night. Sacha Baron Cohen did a Borat, and if you saw the last Borat movie, you remember he was in the room with us. He spent like a week with the
house.
rednecks.
Yeah. Mhm.
Those guys. So he did an offshoot of that where they did these things where they had people talk to these guys about. They actually had experts tell these guys all the conspiracy shit they spewed. It's on Amazon Prime, guys, and they're short episodes too. And they kind of break down that they're full of shit. And these guys, it's weird to watch because they cut to the guys and they're like...
They fought it? Did they turn?
Yeah, they don't want it. No. In fact, the last episode, Hillary Clinton, one of the things they said that Hillary Clinton drank baby's blood because it has adrenochrome in it. And they have video. They go, one of the girls goes, by the way, I have a video of someone that they couldn't be live with you, but they wanted to, talk to you. And these guys have talked shit about Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton comes on and goes, guys, Chet and Roy, I just want to say, and
Jim and Jerry,
that's right, Jim and Jerry, and I just want to say that this is horrible that people would say this about me, that I would drink baby's blood. I don't. It hurts my family. It hurts me. Like,
it doesn't taste great.
Like,
I mean,
if you mix it with Dr. Pepper and Sprite, it does take the edge off. And she and here's the fucked up part. Like, I'm stunned. She made a video for these two rednecks that were in the Sacha Baron Cohen movie, and she was like, "Do you understand that saying this about people is crazy and it hurts?
it's hurtful. Yeah.
And they get done, and he goes, and one of the guys, just like this,
Still
goes. What does he say? Can't stand her.
Still can't stand her.
Still can't stand her. And I realized in that moment, I kind of had some desperation and some resignation to what we're in for. And I wish people would stop talking about civil war. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. And go ahead, bring it. It would be ugly.
Yeah.
Ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think that the military is going to flip? Is that what you think?
right.
Possible.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're saying there's a lot of conversation about the military, that people are angry and they think the election was stolen and yada yada.
Well,
I never say yada yada.
By the way, speaking of election stolen, the Republicans in Arizona just issued a 93-page rebuttal to everything that the cyber ninjas came up with. And someone pointed out on Twitter, they are not cyber or ninjas. They came out and everything that the cyber ninjas claimed possibly could have been fraud.
What did the cyber ninjas eventually claim in Arizona?
Well, they said that That by the votes are Joe Biden won. As a matter of fact, I think it was
They found more votes.
they found
Right.
400 more votes.
right. This is all amazing.
I just love, really, dudes? You found 400 more. Okay, so Biden won by more. They did find.
So
Anyway,
Arizona's arguing against that.
no, the Arizona Republicans came out
Right.
and said that are in charge of it. Said, yeah, here's 90, and they went down everything that they claimed could have been happened, and it proved it was all bullshit.
Okay.
The woman who's running for governor of Arizona, Republican, came out and said, they go, we're done with this now. And then she came out and she goes, we'll see.
Oh my God.
I don't understand. For some people that want to avoid the past, fuckers really like living in the past,
Yeah.
don't they?
Selective. They're
yeah.
very selective about what past they want.
Yeah, isn't it?
Right.
Yes, exactly. So let's talk about slavery. Nope. Kids.
That's racist to
Let's
talk about that.
Well, let's talk about the election that happened in the past. Wait, hold on. Are we good?
I think it's more racist to not talk about it. The peak racism for me in 2020 and 2021 has been to tell black people that there is no racism after they said
Oh yeah.
there's
Oh, yeah.
racism. That's peak
That's
racism.
a right wing thing.
So if you're saying there's
I
no
think-
racism,
But I think one of the most racist thing, and I think what you're saying is all lives matter. As long as you go, all lives matter. Hey guys, the reason that this Black Lives Matter thing came up is because they've been fucked over
Right.
for 400 years.
because
is that because in your concept of all lives matter, you intentionally omitted black people.
Yeah, that's why we had to bring
And
it
you
up.
made
Yeah.
them 3/5 of a person so that you could get more votes,
You get
Yep.
more
representatives.
representation. I mean, give me a break.
know that,
you
Mike-
called black people 3/5. You couldn't even, to get more representation,
Make them a whole person.
You couldn't even make them a whole. That's what an asshole racist you are.
That you couldn't even
You made
add
them
up
a
to
fraction.
one. You couldn't even add them up to a whole
They
person.
sat around and did calculus to figure out what they had to make
worked
them
it out. Yes.
so that they could get what they wanted, but not. It's
They
like,
use an abacus.
These
Yeah.
fuckers, like, we gotta learn some new math. Why? Why don't we just make them one people? And fuck that. Nope.
Yeah.
No, we gotta learn a new kind of math. What does X equal?
Oh shit. By the way, this episode brought to you also by HelloFresh, a company
Yay!
that you know that we love.
Oh my God, such good food.
Great time for this as well because of the new year. Everybody, we kind of step into this new year, even though we're in a shitty run of years, wanting to be better and have a better quality of life. And this is another great product for that, for quality of life. What I love about it is that you save money. You're teaching yourself to cook unwittingly. You don't even realize it. You can take care of your health. You can choose your style of food, your style of recipes that you're picking from, depending on what your health goals are. It's cheaper. It's delivered to your door, which you guys know I super duper love.
Can I point something out? So we, over the pandemic and recently, we ordered out a lot. And the thing is, when you order out, you really kind of don't know
Yeah.
what's showing up.
Yeah.
Hey, you're kind of hoping there's a little like, hope this is good.
Yeah.
HelloFresh, man, every time we've made this, and I say we, as I sat on the couch and she made this, it's been like, it's stunningly awesome. Like, I'm surprised every time.
It's stunning and it's shocking how fast it is. Like
Right.
that you get this crazy restaurant level food and you just did it in less than 30 minutes. It's crazy. You can do quick and easy meals, which are even faster. They include 20-minute recipes. It's low prep, easy cleanup options. They now have desserts, which I always think is
What?
an awesome Dunkaroos cookie dough, vanilla delight cheesecake. Awesome. 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the same quality. Pretty crazy. So you can save, on average, they figured out over $65 a month when you order HelloFresh instead of going grocery shopping. And they send you
Wait,
packaged.
not ordering out.
Here's what goes in this recipe. Here's what goes in this
Wait,
recipe.
$65 instead of going grocery shopping, just have them deliver the meals. Wow, that's
And
I
it's
was
all
gonna
the
say-
work is done for you, which is even then you save time. How much is that worth?
Oh, prepping,
Going
oh
to
my
the
God.
grocery store, effort, everything. Yeah. Love this company. You guys
Time
got to
is
try
money.
it. If you haven't tried it, you got to try it. It's amazing. It's like all of these things that we have now. How
Guys,
did we
just try
survive
it.
without them
Just
before?
try it. You know what I like about our ads? Every ad that we do, we use. And I,
Yeah.
like sometimes you break stuff and I'm like, oh!
Yeah,
Like,
we
oh,
don't do any ads that we don't use.
We've had arguments about that.
Yeah. I'm like, no, we can take the
Like, no.
paper airplane.
No, we cannot.
He'll use that. What do you mean, paper airplane?
It helps you sleep if you fly paper airplanes
Yeah, no.
over the bed
Yeah,
at night.
No, there's a level of crazy. I'm like,
No,
nah,
okay.
I'm not doing that.
So all you have to do is go to hellofresh.com/Titus16 and use code Titus16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. So that's hellofresh.com/Titus16 using code Titus16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. America's #1 meal kit for a reason, people. Love this company.
It's good.
They are good
Those pork.
It really is
those burgers
great.
We had. Oh my god.
to do now.
Yeah.
I like having that because it's weird because the older you get, do you guys feel like this? Like there's not enough time in the day?
Yes, all the time.
And I
every day.
remember there was
Yeah, he
so
works
much
for us.
more
Yeah, he
time
thinks that
before.
all the
Yeah, well, because he needs an assistant. If we can get this
I mean,
party
it's midnight.
cranking,
I'm home. I'm
I
finally
feel
home.
like that too.
if we can get this party cranking, you're getting an assistant.
Yes.
But it's weird, and I feel like there's so much to do, and none of it gets done. I feel like I get one thing done a day fully,
Yep.
and it's not the thing I wanted to do. And companies like this help so much with stuff like that. It's like then you don't have to think about, especially having a kid.
Well, also
and
when you
stuff.
think about, if you think about like grandma, we're talking about grandma, the past and what they dealt with. Dee in Colorado did a great thing about what the past was. We all think that what we're living in is a horror show, and it is on many levels. It is, but the reason it feels like a horror show is because how convenient our lives have gotten.
Yeah.
It's become.
And that, right? You know, I mean, from phones down to meal prep to delivery to restaurants, it's easy to kind of live.
Well, in this country, we've been, for the most part, like living in a sort of
bubble, yeah.
utopia-ish.
Compared
You know,
to
we haven't had
yeah.
wars here. You
and
know?
all
Yet.
it took
Right.
was Donald Trump
Yeah.
to screw it
But
all up.
do you have that thing that Dee sent
He
about
didn't
what the
write
past
that.
was?
He pulled that. He said who the writer
He
was.
sent it to us. So
It's pretty long,
Dee in
though.
Colorado. Well, you can just go through it. You can just drift through it. He's talking about what happened if you were born in 1925. And you live 60 years, your life was a nightmare. Imagine being born.
Imagine you were born in 1900. When
Right.
you're 14, World War I starts. It ends on your 18th birthday with 22 million people killed. We're freaking out right now about 800,000. 22 million people.
And then,
Later in the year, the
Spanish
Spanish flu hits. It runs until you're 20 years old. 50 million people die from it in those 2 years.
So that's 77 million people dead by the time you're
50
20 years
million.
old.
Holy crap. When you're 29, the Great Depression begins. Unemployment hits 25%. Global GDP drops 27%. That runs until you're 33. The country nearly collapses along with the world economy. When you turn 39, World War II starts. You aren't even old yet. When you're 41, the United States is fully pulled into World War II. Between your 39th and 45th birthday, 75 million people die in the war, and the Holocaust kills 6 million. At 52, the Korean War starts and 5 million perish. At 64, the Vietnam War begins, and it won't end for many years. 4 million people die in that war. Approaching your 62nd birthday, you have the Cuban Missile Crisis, a tipping point in the Cold War. Life on our planet, as we know, could well have ended. Great leaders prevented that from happening. You turn 75, the Vietnam War finally ends. Think of everyone born on the planet in 1900. How did you survive all of that? A kid in 1985 didn't think their 85-year-old grandparent understood how hard school was. But those grandparents
mowing the lawn,
lived
Grandpa.
through all of that. It's
So
all about
Our worst thing
perspective.
was Kurt Cobain shot himself.
And
That
disco.
was really
and disco.
awful.
And disco.
Kurt Cobain
And the
dying
Titus show was
awful.
canceled.
It's Krugman, yeah. What? And Titus.
And the Titus was canceled,
Yeah,
yes.
that was-
I remember where I was.
But if you
when I
when
found
that list
out.
went, so Dee from Colorado, thanks for sending us in, and the guy who wrote that, whoever was awesome, because it puts it into perspective. We whine so much. We actually got so comfortable. It came to where parents thought that you needed to give every kid a trophy. That's how easy things got. No. I cannot put my kid through the trauma of not scoring as many goals as the
Right.
other team.
Of being upset.
Yeah, being upset that they. So that's how far we got. So when you put it in perspective of that, we're gonna make it through this. We have never seen, unless you go back to the beginning of the country, us fighting each other. You know, I mean, in the Civil War. But if that happens again, man, man, I can't fathom it. We got to stop talking about it because I don't think it's going to happen. Do you think it's going to happen?
What?
No.
Well, it's one of those things when you talk about something long enough, it happens. And the news is talking about Civil War, and then we got these idiots on the right talking about Civil War, and there's people saying shit like that guy at that school board meeting. He goes, I want to ask you. No, it was a CPAC meeting or something. He's like, I want to ask a question. So when can we start, shooting these people? And I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, when can we start taking the guns out and dealing with these people? And he said that with a camera on him. And I'm like, how the fuck if people getting that relaxed?
Yeah.
That you're talking about shooting and killing your fellow Americans. What is wrong with you?
Well, the Travis McMichael, the young guy that killed Ahmaud Arbery, on his Facebook, they, dove into that, and he was posting things like that about how we got to arm up. That's what one of the posts was on Facebook, of course.
But now we're a year into the Biden administration, and arm up for what? Like what do you what now? Like people would say before Biden came to office, they were like, I'm really scared about what's going to happen to this country. Okay, are you still scared? What's watching
happening? This Sacha Baron Cohen thing and these two guys, Jim and Jerry, talking, it will chill you. They're dead serious. The Democrats, Obama, the Clintons, they like to mention them specifically, but all the Democrats came together and fabricated COVID to keep them from being able to go to work and to win the election. And it's like they have this whole multi-level idea of Democrats, and any normal person would go, oh, that's not even possible. We can't even organize a car wash with 10 people.
Right,
It's like,
exactly. We can't get people to show up for a bake sale. How the hell?
But they really, the shit that they're reading, and what we noticed constantly was they're saying, that's what I heard. That's what they say. That's constantly throughout. And so when he would have experts meet with them, they would say, but where did you see that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's just what they're saying. Who's they?
And Ray is, by the way, I wish I could record Ray for the podcast sometimes. She says things that she put something into perspective yesterday that was interesting. She said, because if you watch these guys on screen, they're dealing with Sacha Baron Cohen as Borat, and Borat's being an asshole, and they're very polite. They're nice to him. And even when they were talking in this new show, they seemed like nice enough guys, didn't they?
The one guy especially.
Yeah, the one guy. And so Ray said, she goes, the problem with it right now is that you can get in a room with a conservative and you can have a discussion with them, and they seem, everybody, she said, we're not that far apart. The problem is, and she put this perfectly, tell me if you get it right. She said, the line between right and wrong, you can't be a little bit over that line. You are right or you're wrong. The Arbery case is a good example of it. Yeah. People are like, no, man, he deserved to be shot. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're a little over that line. If once you're over that fucking line, you're wrong. Yeah.
And I don't mean the crazy right wing and the crazy left woke people, but the majority of us, I think, are, being with my sister for a week and her husband, we're right here, and here's the line. We're so close, and we both think that we're fighting for what's best. But in situations like that case, you can't be a little bit on the wrong side of that. And a lot
just
of
one
January
step over,
6th.
There's no little wrong. Yeah, there's no little wrong. Yeah,
but it's just taking someone's perspective and going like this, because even with my sister, I've found things that she has no idea. She has no idea about, So messaging. We need better messaging. We need to shut down Fox.
Yeah.
OAN.
Again,
sometimes some people on CNN and MSNBC too. Damn.
Yeah, the woke stuff. There is a level of too far. We talked about it, the realtor. We got to do that sketch. That's a good sketch. We're going to be working on a new sketch show, by the way, guys. We're going to be putting one out in the next couple of weeks. I know everyone. You brought this up yesterday.
I asked if we were because you said we
I just
were,
had a heart palpitation. Come on.
You didn't answer.
I have to write the shit. What are you worried about? I got to write it. I got to sit down and write like 7
But then we
sketches.
have to shoot it and edit it in a day.
No, we'll be all right.
No?
We'll take our time. We can put it out when we put it out.
Take our time.
Yeah, we always
That's a
take our
day.
time.
That's
We
a-
always take our time when we see we go. Got to have it out by Friday. We sold
Easy
tickets.
peasy.
We're better at it. Do you realize that over COVID, over the last 2 years, that we became a production entity? Like we can literally do stuff. We imagine where we started.
Yeah.
We built that little stage.
The bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, and now we're here.
Now
And
we're
now
here.
we're here.
We're here.
It's amazing.
Till we get all that stuff out? Okay. Guys, thank you for watching and listening. And if you want to sign up for the podcast, go to your local disco. and
or a CD.
Walk the widow's walk, and there will be a stack of papers you can sign, and then sign up.
And we'll write you a check. No, you'll write us a check for the podcast.
We're going to live stream on the old
that
TV.
you listen to.
click.
On the dictaphone.
Or you can just go to Christopher Titus TV on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. We always give you new stuff. You'll get the podcast all the time. We're going to be starting a Patreon pretty quick. So if you see it for extra stuff, you'll have access to tickets on our theater shows. You'll have access to extra stuff that no one will be able to see because you'll be part of the inside, the cool kids.
Yeah.
It's not, you'll get shit that no one else will. Do me a favor, go to ChristopherTitus.com if you want any things. We have a new order of Titus shirts coming in for the tour shirts. The zero side effect shirt that on the back say, now let's invent a vaccine for stupid. Those will be in the next week. And thanks for watching and listening to the Titus Podcast. You guys want to say anything? No. It's the first year. Do we have any goals? I mean, do we have any New Year's resolutions or any goals this year? We, the lovely Rachel and I, are planning on going to the Fringe Festival in Scotland.
Oh, yeah, I heard. That's awesome.
a month.
Yeah.
For a month in Scotland.
Scotland.
So we're going to pre-record some stuff.
There's a lot of Highlanders up there.
Yes.
You should go to the
Right.
Highlands.
Yeah,
the Highlander in the
To the
Highlands.
Highlands.
We should
Yeah.
do that. Well, we'll be there for 4 weeks, so you can come stay with us for a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Free lodging. Huh?
All right.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Okay, good. And so we're going to do
Have
that.
you ever been to Scotland?
I was listening to something yesterday.
Cool.
and-
But
I
you
saw
have to drink.
Braveheart,
You
so
have to
close
drink
enough.
scotch.
There you go. Me
You
too.
can't go and not drink scotch. You have to have some scotch, even though you don't really drink.
I refuse to wear a kilt.
You don't have
Is it
to wear a kilt,
Kilt?
but you should have some scotch from the Daniel Craig
We're
bartender.
not going to that bar
who
again.
will
No.
suggest the best scotch. See, Poochie's going to Scotland.
He's like, I heard Dad was wrapping up the podcast. Would you stop talking, Dad? Stop talking.
Time to go home.
Right? You want to go home, buddy? You want to go home? Yeah? You have any resolutions this year?
I don't ever make resolutions.
Why?
I don't know. I was tired of disappointing myself.
Because they never work.
Yeah. I already feel like a loser enough. Here's another failure I'm going to add to the list. That's how I kind of feel.
I do, definitely try. I try to motivate myself throughout the year with different ideas, and Scotland was one of them. I got the information on the theaters for each of us and instantly called our manager back and was like, let's do it, book it, get these dates, get this time, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm pushing that to happen, although I know as it gets closer, I'll be 100% terrified, but I'm making myself, that's the thing, put everything in place so that then you force yourself to do the absolutely terrifying thing that is really, really good for you. Remind me of this in
All right.
July.
In
Yeah, no,
2023.
in July when
Right.
she's panicking, she's upset with her show. But here's what I was thinking too. It goes as well. We always say distance, time, and form. What's the form? We're going to do shows in
Right.
Scotland, the Fringe Festival. What's the distance? Got to be out. We're going to be in Scotland by August.
It's all with the
and we have
goal of
this-
building a European presence. That's where people come and you want to get a good review. And, it's like there's big things that could come out of that. And so that's why I already started looking at getting the flat for the month. There's companies that rent. Everybody in Edinburgh leaves for the month of August and rents out their flats and stuff. So you get
That's how popular the festival is. Everyone gets the hell out.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
I don't understand that, but okay. Because Europe comes. They
You could make money.
The EU. But I just think that we need to keep doing this. Like we're going to. I got a drone for Christmas, and I shot some stuff this weekend, and we're planning on doing a new movie. Yeah, so by the end of this year, we will have a new movie in production. All right.
This is why I don't make lists, because we already have them. He's got them already set. We're doing
But
it.
also, he's just given you several things to terrify you.
Yeah, no,
so
I can just feel the panic radiating from sketch show movie. Ah! And then we're gonna go over special unit again. Ah! His inner child is just banging its head against the counter right now. So anyways, guys, stay with us, and thanks for being with us as long as you have. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray, and the Highlander. Later.
peace out.
Ah.
We
we're
are
not-
no longer doing music because you've done all the
We
music.
ran out of genres.
We ran out of
Yep.
genres, yeah.
and we're repeating genres.
Yep.
So what do we do? We're doing a fun fact.
Fun fact. So we now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to close out, as always, from now on until we get bored with it.
The Highlander.
Fun facts.
Fun facts.
Did you know?
And he goes into his radio voice.
There's a company that, speaking of COVID, that turns dead bodies into an ocean reef.
What?
Yes.
Like skeletons?
And it's not owned by the mafia.
Say that
It's
again.
called cement shoes. No.
Say that
It's
again.
a real thing.
Hilarious.
Say that sentence again.
Sleeping with the fishes, hashtag. It's a company that turns dead bodies into an ocean reef. So it's a real thing. It's called
So
Eternal
is it like
Reefs.
like a big coral of skeletons?
Eternal Reefs, is that something that people would pay for to have their person?
I think they just like kick you over the side of a boat and you just turn into a blob.
Costs $4,000. They take your body in a bag, they dump it over to the boat, and
It's
you
of
become a reef.
course
And you just
a
become a
California
squid.
company.
Are you looking it up? Okay, good.
Fun
Yeah.
facts.
Eternal Reefs. It's a pair of college roommates from Georgia.
Wow.
They went diving in the Florida Keys, realized the
And
reefs
somebody
are
died down there.
deteriorating, so they decided to use dead bodies.
As fertilizer to make the reefs come back to life.
What do? They just ground your
figured
ass up.
In
and
Georgia,
then
they're
just-
like, you know what? COVID's killing a lot of people. How do we turn that into
we gotta
cash?
fix the
So
ocean and
it
kill
started
two
with
birds.
his father-in-law's remains. He quickly set to work mixing his remains into the reef ball concrete. So they mix you into the concrete. And that's how they came up with Eternal Reefs. It's a memorial. So
Let's start
if
a
you want to have your person live on,
Did you ever want to
as a reef?
Finding Nemo forever?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, did you want to go to the Olympics? Be in the Olympics? We'll grind you up into a
from
ping
now on,
pong
the
ball.
last thing before I close out, we're going to do the fun facts. This is
as
awesome.
Don's wife and Petey's daughter Jane said, it's not so much like they are gone. It's really more like, look at what they're doing now. So
You know what? We go and we water ski over them every year, and we throw flowers.
Pray.
Yeah, I cut that thing, spray, beautiful spray, throw a rose.
So, but when does he say there can be only one?
Oh.
Oh, we'll do it again. No, so we'll do that first, and then we'll go. For myself, the lovely Bombshell Ray, and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
There could be only one.
There you go.
That was
Thanks,
weird.
guys.
We got to get that rhythm.